Have you ever noticed how some people cancel plans and feel instant relief the moment they're back home? Not lonely relief, not "I failed at being social" relief. More like their nervous system finally unclenches, their brain gets quiet, their face relaxes, and for the first time all day, they can breathe. So what's really going on? Because people who love staying at home aren't always shy. They aren't always depressed, and they're definitely not wasting life. Sometimes they're just built differently. Here's the psychology of people who genuinely love staying at home. 1. Home is where their nervous system feels safe. Some people walk into a party and their brain lights up. Other people walk into a party and their brain starts scanning for threats. Not dramatic threats, little ones. How do I look? Am I talking too much? Do they like me? Where do I put my hands? That's not weakness, that's sensitivity. In psychology, some people have a more reactive stress system. You can call it higher neuroticism, or you can call it a nervous system that learned to stay alert. So home becomes more than a place. It becomes a signal that says, you can stop performing now. No social decoding, no micro-adjusting your personality, just you in your default settings. And once your brain learns that home equals safety, it starts craving it. 2. They don't get energy from people, they spend energy on people. Extroverts gain energy from social interaction. Introverts don't hate people, they just pay a higher mental cost for stimulation. And stimulation isn't only loud music or crowds. It's eye contact, it's small talk, it's emotional mirroring, it's being on. Even if the night is fun, their brain is multitasking the whole time. That's why they can love their friends and still feel exhausted after seeing them. So staying home isn't avoidance, it's recovery. It's the same reason your phone needs low power mode, not because it's broken, because it's been working hard in the background. 3. Home gives them control, and control reduces anxiety. Here's something most people don't notice. A lot of anxiety isn't fear, it's uncertainty. When you go out, you lose control over tiny things: noise, timing, comfort, food, who shows up, where you sit. Even the temperature feels like someone else's decision. But at home, you control the lighting, you control the sounds, you control the pace of your day. And psychologically, control is calming. It reduces cognitive load because your brain doesn't have to keep adjusting. It doesn't have to keep negotiating reality. That's why some people don't just like staying home. They feel mentally cleaner at home. And once you taste that kind of peace, going out starts to feel like an expensive habit. 4. They're often more self-directed than people realize. Here's a twist. Some people stay home because they're hiding, but some people stay home because they're building. They have private goals, private routines, private worlds. They might be learning, creating, working out, reading, playing games with full focus, even just thinking deeply. And in personality psychology, people high in openness or introspection often need solitude to process. They don't want constant input. They want space for their mind to expand. Because for them, alone time isn't empty. It's rich. It's not nothing is happening. It's everything is happening internally. And that's why they can stay home for hours and feel more alive than they do in a room full of people. 5. Staying home can be a quiet form of emotional independence. This one is subtle. Some people go out to feel validated, to feel chosen, to feel seen. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're social creatures. But people who love staying home often don't rely on the outside world to regulate their emotions. They've learned how to self-soothe. They can sit with themselves without panicking. They can feel bored without needing to escape it. They can feel sad without needing an audience. That's emotional maturity, not perfection, but a kind of inner steadiness. They don't need constant stimulation to prove they're alive. They can be alone and still feel whole. Now, does loving home ever become unhealthy? Yes, if staying home isn't peace, but fear. If you're not recharging, you're shrinking. If every invitation feels like a threat, that's not homebody energy, that's avoidance conditioning. And the difference is simple. Do you stay home because you love your inner world or because you're afraid of the outer one? Because one is self-awareness, the other is a cage with soft pillows. So here's the real takeaway. People who love staying at home aren't missing life. They're choosing a version of life that feels emotionally safe, mentally quiet, and personally meaningful. They aren't necessarily antisocial. They're often just overstimulated by the modern world. And if you're one of them, you don't need to fix yourself. You just need to understand yourself and build a life that matches your nervous system. If this video made you feel a little too understood, you're not alone. Like the video if you've ever felt happier staying in than going out, and subscribe for more psychology that decodes the stuff you've always felt but never had words for.